Hey, Coach.
Zach.
On the radio on Saturday, you discussed the team having one of its best weeks of practice mentally last week. Did you sort of see that carry over to
Yeah,
today,
it
despite
was
Saturday?
great. I got to talk to Coach Dickert a little bit more before I speak completely on the defense. But I know on the offensive side of the ball, you know, and I heard Coach Stutz say it, and I agreed with him. That's the best Monday we've had this year. So um, at least, and I didn't catch any body language or energy issues on the defensive side of the ball. Um, they've been pretty consistent in the work they put in all year anyway. So I would say that it did carry over.
And on Utah's defense, how has linebacker Nephi Sewell looked on film, and just how much has he improved since his days at Nevada?
Um, it, it's fun for me. Um, I'm impressed. Whether it's Benet or Gabe or Nephi. No, I mean these guys. They're fun to watch play football. Nephi, got a touchdown. He's all in a bunch of tackles. He knows he's a smart football player. He's physical, passionate, much like the rest of the family. So um, for me, because I remember when he was a young kid coming up, and then Nevada. I know he played early, and then he kind of made the transition up to Utah. But with what he's made of as his character. You knew he was going to contribute to that team at some point somehow, and he is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next one, Dennis Patcham from Spokane TV. Go ahead, Dennis.
Unmute. Thank you.
There you go.
Thanks. There we go. Nick, are you glad your guys get an opportunity to play one more game, considering how last Saturday kind of came to a close a little bit?
Yes, very much so. These guys, especially the guys that are still going here, they've been through a lot, and all they want to do was play. And that this is not. I'm not taking shots at Cal. We've all been through it this year. This is about just our guys. They were excited to play a football game, and I think and I'm sure the Cal's guys were. They didn't need to fly up here just to turn around, fly back, and not play a game. So it's been hard on the players for all the teams, and the challenge is making sure that we're there for them and get them ready to go to the next one.
Nick, can you talk about your team's focus throughout this season, just with all the things that they've gone through, cancellations of games at last minute, postponement of games, no games? Can you talk about that focus that your team has had?
Well, I don't think we're immune to the questioning of the situation. That's more, right? Disappointment after disappointment, practice. Everyone has a different way or a different time when not a breaking point, but like what's going on. And, so it didn't all happen at one time. Some guys were struggling early. Some guys really struggled coming off. They got pulled off in warm-ups. You're talking about, this is really the only place left for a young man to get into that warrior mindset and do something they love and get physical and work as a team and do something great. And that there's a mindset prep that goes into that. Not many guys will just turn it on and off. And that can be very crushing, especially two guys who are older in their career, and their opportunities to play are drifting away.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, other questions for Coach Rolovich? Just raise your hand and we'll call on you. So other questions for Coach Rolo? All right, there we go. Theo Lawson. Go ahead, Theo.
Hey, Nick, did you guys expect at all to get a home game in this last game, or was it kind of just whatever happens, or were you kind of planning on being able to play a second home game at Martin Stadium?
Well, of course we'd like to have been playing at home, but that necessarily wasn't a big point of emphasis in the discussions. I mean, when you get to that point, when your game gets canceled, and then, you know, and the league's dealing with all types of stuff, there wasn't any politicking. That wasn't in our even plan. I guess I didn't. I was curious how the decision got made, and I asked that today, but it's not something that was a huge deal, I guess. But sure, we'd love to be playing at home.
What did you make of the conference's idea to send Oregon to the championship game rather than just maybe hand the championship to USC and not play a championship game? Did you have any thoughts on that, or have you thought about it?
I never thought that would be an option. I thought they were going to play a championship game the whole time. So, you know, they don't have a lot of, you know, great options for a scenario like this. So I know a lot were discussed, and they try to do what's best for the conference and the kids. But I never had many thoughts of just handing a trophy over to somebody. I always thought there was going to be a championship game.
It's obviously pretty hard to play a game in Utah anytime that's such a tough road environment for most teams. But playing Utah on the road in mid-December, and especially a Utah team that's won their last 2 games and seems to be pretty hot. What kind of challenges does Utah present this year?
Well, I think any team that's coached by Kyle Whittingham is going to be a tough, physical, passionate, you know, love playing football team. You know, there's a physicality that his brand that has been developed, and for a long time of it. You know, you're probably going to be sore the next day. Our challenge is to make sure they're sore too the next day. We have a great football game.
All right, next question. Tim Booth from the Associated Press. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, Nick, you were just talking about the guys being sort of amped up on Saturday and being pulled off the field like that. What are those conversations you have with them about sort of coming down from that and processing it and moving forward from being ready to play and then having it taken away like that?
Well, much of this season, you know, I think you have to look at the men you hired to be position coaches, because they have taken on a lot of this as far as, you know, we're not having a ton of team meetings. We're not, you know, they're with their group, and they've had to become even more of a almost like a mental health guardian over these guys, making sure they're all right, dealing with, you know, different emotions and different ways of processing it. Our conversations really was, let's not make a bad situation worse. This isn't the time to make, this is not any of your fault, but this is not the time to make any decisions that put anybody in jeopardy, whether that's socially or, you know, academically. And, you know, yes, we do feel bad for you, but that doesn't mean you can't, you know, get up in the morning and attack the day like a champion. And it's hard, no doubt it's hard, but best thing we could do, I think, is be there for them, tell them we understand. Coaches are hurt, but, you know, we've been through a lot more. You know, this is these kids' prime, right? They're living their dream. And, you know, sometimes you're having that great dream and you get woken up. And, you know, when you wake up, you're not feeling as good as you were in that dream.
I'm sure every season is exhausting in its own way. Is this maybe as exhausting of a few months as you've ever had? Could be. I know I definitely I feel like we've had a 15-game season, and, you know, you think back, you're like, played 3 games, and I can only imagine. I got a lot of respect for the team, the guys that were just at practice with us, because I told them, I said, you know, you guys, to me, you guys are some real savages, and got a real strong mindset, and they got a love for each other that's keeping each other going, which is, I think, a positive thing to emphasize. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, our last questions today will be Cody from the Evergreen. Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the game on Saturday was going to be in some kind of difficult weather conditions. something you guys have been used to and practicing in it, and that could be the case, going to Utah. How do you think this team was prepared to play in that weather, and how do you think it kind of helps you guys out heading to Utah this weekend?
I think the weather is the last thing on people's mind these days. I think they just want to play. If we're playing on hot coals, I think all we want to do is play. And is there a little strategy? Make sure you talk about it, yeah, but we can play in a junkyard. I mean, I just can't tell you what an honor it is to be surrounded by this team and what their mindset has been and what it has continued to grow to, especially after the Cal and going to this game. I don't think it's snow. I don't think if it's rain. I don't think it's wind. I don't care if it's all of that and we get slapped around and punched in the face. This team just wants to go play, and I can ride with that.
One of the players that was very vocal about his kind of feelings and wanting to play was Max Borghi. Looked like he was prepared to play for the first time this season. Was he a full go, or was there going to be a little kind of working him back into 100%?
That's top secret classified information that I'm not prepared to reveal on the Zoom. Too many security breach possibilities. Sorry, Code.